Hey everybody, my name is Kevin LeFew and I'm on the go-to-market team here at the Coinbase Developer Platform, the CDP team, and I'm excited to walk you through a open source demo application that we launched today in partnership with Cal.com that lets anybody monetize their calendar booking system using Coinbase Commerce with webhooks to verify calendar bookings through Cal.com. So we'll walk through the setup process today. It's pretty easy. We've created a Replit template so that anybody can get started just by adding API keys and build this sample application in just a few minutes. And so we have two repositories here today. We have a backend API where we simply need to add that cal.com and that Coinbase Commerce API key. And we have a front end application where we feed the backend API deployment URL into the front end to create a full functioning monetized calendar booking system. So shout out to the Cal.com team and to the Boosty Labs team that made this possible. Let's go ahead and get started with this demo. Great. Now let's go ahead and get started and build our application. So the first thing we're going to do is navigate to the backend API Replit template, which we have here. We'll share that URL in the thread. We'll simply click Remix Application, which forks this application and brings along all of the environmental variables, the package management, other tools that we'll need to get started. So I'm going to fork this into my personal Replit account and just click Remix Application to fork it. So we'll see what Replit has as a native assistant. And so we have an AI chat here that's RAG'd over all of our code base. So we can ask it questions. We can remix the application if we'd like. And to get started, we simply follow the directions on the README. Inside of the Replit config file, we can see all of the relevant Node.js and packaging tools that are imported natively so that we don't have to configure the developer environment ourselves. So if we navigate to the README, we can find more information on our booking flow here on this backend API template, and we have steps to get started. So the first thing we need to do is set up a cal.com account and grab an API key. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's navigate to cal.com. We'll go to our individual calendar booking site here. We'll navigate to settings. We'll then go to API keys and we'll add a new API key and we'll use that as a secret inside of the Replit template. So let's call this demo app and we'll give it a 30-day, or we'll say this one doesn't expire because we want this to last for a while. So now we have this API key. We simply copy this API key. We then navigate back to our REPL. We open up the secrets tab. So let's search for secrets. Maybe turn off cap lock here. There we go. So if we go to secrets, we can go to this cal.com API key, and we can simply add this as an environmental variable inside of our API key just by clicking edit and copy and pasting that into that field. So easy as that. Okay, now that we've found our cal.com API key, we need to add these next two variables, this Coinbase webhook secret and the Coinbase API key, Coinbase Commerce API key. And so we can find more information on how to do this in the README, but let's say we want to do this kind of the vibe code way. Let's just paste, where can I find the CB API key and the CB webhook secret? And this is one of the great features of vibe coding, is that we have kind of full intelligence over our code base, so we can ask the AI assistant on where to find this. So we can find the CB API key from our Coinbase Commerce dashboard and the CB webhook secret under settings, notifications, show shared secret. So let's now go back to our repo, sign into Coinbase Commerce, and create our API keys to get started. Great. Now that we're logged into our Coinbase Commerce account, let's go ahead and grab those secrets. So we'll find the API key here at the bottom for custom integrations. We can also find it under settings. Let's go ahead and copy this Coinbase Commerce API key, navigate back to our Replit, edit this, and add this as a new secret as the Coinbase API key. For the Coinbase webhook secret, we can see from the assistant here that we find it under settings, notifications, show shared secret. So let's go to settings, notifications, show shared secret. So let's copy this secret as well, and we'll paste this under the webhook secret. Great. So now we have all three of our variables implemented into the REPL. We can run this and make sure this is running correctly. So let's just click run. Service is up and running. This is the right success message that we're looking for. And now that our service is running, we'll deploy it because we'll need this deployment URL for our front end. So let's go ahead and click deploy. We'll deploy this on a reserved virtual machine under Replit. it'll create a primary domain, and it'll automatically import the run command and the deployment secrets to make it really easy for us to deploy this API server. So let's just click deploy. We'll give it a few minutes, and our deployment will be up and running. Once it's up and running, we'll capture that API key because we'll be using it in the front end API. So let's see how quickly this will take to deploy. Great, so it took about 3 minutes to deploy, so we'll speed that up in the video. But we can see here now we have a successful deployment URL that's hosted, in this case on GCP using Replit. And so the service is up and running. Let's go ahead and leave this tab open. We can copy this URL because we'll need it later. And what we'll do next is we'll navigate to the cal.com demo app front end repository. And so we'll share this link in our resources as well. We'll go ahead and remix this application or fork it. Let's fork it under our personal profile here and remix the application. And we'll see a similar repository to our backend. We'll have an assistant that we can ask questions. Again, this is probably where it makes more sense to use the assistant to kind of vibe code changes to the front end, as the front end's pretty bare bones and just made to be functional today. And so if we open up our file tab here, we can see the README. And just like for the back end, we have information on how to get started and manage these secrets. And so the first thing we'll need to do is take that URL from the back end and feed it as the Vite API URL for the back end. So let's go ahead and open up our tool tab, open up secrets, and grab the API URL, feed that. Wait, let's just make sure that's correct. Yep, so we'll go ahead and add that, and we'll update this to our Replit app. And then what we'll need to do is we'll need to grab the Vite deployed URL and add that to the Vite API URL. So that's referential, so we're going to go to deployments, deploy here. We'll deploy this as a static site. And in this case, we're just going to copy this URL that it feeds us. We'll go back to secrets over here. We'll edit this. And this will be .replit.app. So let's update the secret. Now we can go ahead and deploy the application. And we'll give this a second to deploy as well. This is a static front end, so it should be a little bit quicker to deploy. Great, so our front end now successfully deployed. We can go to the deployments here, and we can open up our application for the calendar booking app, and we can watch this flow in person. So again, it's pretty bare bones. I do encourage anybody to remix this front end and share the updated front end with us. We'd love to see what you guys can build. So we can pick between a 30 or 15-minute meeting. Let's pick a 30-minute meeting. Let's find a slot on Tuesday. Let's say 9 a.m. Head to the booking confirmation, enter my name, my email. Feel free to reach out to me if you'd like. And then let's call this a haircut booking. Great. You can add guests as well if we'd like. And then next we move to payments. We pay with crypto. And we'll be redirected to this Coinbase Commerce flow where I've set a 1 USD payment fee. And I can use any wallet. I can use the Coinbase wallet natively. I could use MetaMask or connect maybe Phantom or my Ledger, and I can find any way to pay. Let's pay with our Coinbase brokerage account in this case, because I've got USDC on there. And we can see I can pay $1 to book this meeting. So let's click Pay Now. We'll confirm with my passkey, which is on my mobile phone. Keep things secure. So we're signing in with my mobile phone here, verifying the passkey using Face ID. And now that that's confirmed, the payment will be sent and the meeting will be booked. And so it's as simple as that to monetize your calendar with this Coinbase Commerce and Cal.com integration. Again, thank you to everyone who helped make this possible, including the Cal.com team and the Boosty Labs team. we do invite anybody in the Coinbase or the Cal.com developer community to try this application out, to remix it, and to extend it. So this is just a little taste of how you can use Coinbase Commerce to monetize things on the internet using Coinbase Commerce webhooks. So thank you so much, and send me a DM or reach out on X if you have any questions. Thank you.